4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Yeah, baby. Yo, to the front. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And
Dmitry Bivol will finally be back in action, returning to the ring on May 30th in Russia to defend his light heavyweight titles against Michael Eifert. The fight had been previously linked to the Usyk vs. Verhoeven card on May 23rd in Egypt, but instead will now headline its own card in Ekaterinburg. The 35-year-old Bivol has been out of action since February 2025, when he won a majority decision over Artur Beterbiev in their rematch in Riyadh. A third fight between the two was tentatively expected for later in the year, but did not materialize. Neither has fought in the year plus since that second bout between them. Bivol was also expected to defend his WBC light heavyweight belt against David Benavidez. Unfortunately, Bivol decided to vacate his belt rather than fight the Mexican monster. David Benavidez was disappointed and expressed his frustration in a social media post after the news broke out. Bivol will now defend his WBA and IBF belts against Germany's Michael Eifert, who is the IBF mandatory challenger, and was ordered finally for a fight with Bivol last summer. Eifert won an IBF eliminator way back in March 2023, so 3 full years ago, beating a faded Jean Pascal quite clearly on the road in Quebec. As for why the WBO light heavyweight belt won't be on the line in this fight, major news just came in regarding that belt being on the line in the upcoming title defense against Eifert. Ring Magazine reported that the belt won't feature in the contest due to the ongoing conflict with Ukraine, per a letter from WBO President Gustavo Olivieri obtained by the Ring's Mike Coppinger. The WBO won't strip Bivol, though. The WBA and IBF titles will be on the line, along with the Ring Championship at 175 pounds.
The exercise where I'm doing my abs and the tailor is hitting me, it's more like all of this stuff, it's more like a little bit for fun. And at the same time, I did around 20, maybe 25 like reps.
Your trainer looks like he's enjoying.
Yeah, he was enjoying, of course. And another one with burn machine, it's more for your arm, for this stuff. And he was hitting also my body, for me to not lose it, to be in shape when I'm doing this exercise. With the kettlebell, yeah, this is for, of course, we are imitating punches, and the most important, you should do it faster to not move kettlebell. If you do it slower, the kettlebell will move, and you need to do it faster, and we did it 30 seconds. Spider-Man, yeah, it's more core stuff, and we just tried it once. We didn't do it before, to be honest.
This one looks like you're catching flies? Or?
Catching, catching big flies. Yeah, we called it ovod in Russia, but yeah, it's like a flight. I had a run this time. I remember it was between my fights. I was just having a run, and then I saw the place where I can do shadow boxing, and I just wanted to catch some flies.
So you come up with these, or does your trainer come up with these workouts?
Most of it, of course, it's Taylor creating, but sometimes he's creating during the session because he could see that I'm doing something and I'm not doing it right how he wants, and he's editing something. When I was doing like stuff with the burn machine, he saw that my body is weak, but I was doing it with only arms, and he wanted to add something for my body, and he just started beating me to squeeze my abs.
So you're feeling the effects, you're feeling, when you go into fighting, you can feel it.
Yeah,
While Bivol has been out of action, he has been keeping himself busy training in the gym ahead of his mandatory clash with Michael Eifert. Bivol hasn't been out in public much since his sensational victory over Artur Beterbiev in the rematch last year. Bivol did an interview a couple of months ago and he touched on various updates in the light middleweight division. He expressed his disappointment about losing his belts, but revealed that the reason he's been out is because of a major surgery on his injured shoulder. The former undisputed light heavyweight champion also talked about his rival David Benavidez' recent performances against Anthony Yard and the upcoming fight with Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight. Bivol has his own hopes of moving up, but he did surprise everyone by talking about his potential future fights.
So it's the Ring Magazine here at the Ring Awards with Dmitry Bivol. You're nominated for one award this year, the Fight of the Year with Artur Beterbiev, your rematch which you came out on top of. Just talk to me about how good that fight was for yourself back at the start of the year.
Against Beterbiev, you mean?
Yes.
You know, this is this is hardest fight in my life, and I had the most dangerous opponent. I think he's the most dangerous fighter in boxing. At that time he was, and I'm proud to be nominated as a Fight of the Year with Beterbiev. Yeah.
It was a bit of a frustrating year for yourself. Obviously you won all your belts back, but then you picked up an injury and you're back in the ring. But how much are you itching now to get back into the ring and start showing the world again what you can do?
You know, it's almost 6 months after the surgery, and I was training the last 2-3 months, building my core, and now I'm feeling better, and I hope I could come back to the ring maybe on May. It will be great, yeah.
It was reported obviously the IBF put your mandatory forward, Michael Eifert. Is that who we are most likely going to see you fight in May?
Yeah, probably this is one of the fight which we could make on May, yeah.
I want to ask your opinion then. Obviously David Benavidez is now WBC champion. Just what have you made of his performances this year? Obviously he beat David Morrell and then he had the destructive win over Anthony Yard at the end of the year.
About who?
David Benavidez.
He did well last year, of course, and yeah, he has another good fight against Ramirez, and yeah, he's doing well.
The final one, obviously 2026. Obviously you said you're coming back in May. Would you like to be undisputed once again by the end of the year?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, this is one of the options. Also, there is Benavidez, there is Beterbiev still, and also I'm open for cruiserweight. Why not? Yeah, I would like to get a chance to fight for another belt also in another weight class.
Bivol is open to a trilogy fight with Artur Beterbiev and a matchup with David Benavidez, a fight which many people want to see. However, it looks like Bivol and his team are more interested in the trilogy over a title clash with David Benavidez. Bivol's manager Vadim Kornilov spoke to Boxing News recently, revealing that the trilogy was more likely to happen. Vadim emphasized that integrity is the driving force behind pursuing a trilogy between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. He believes that since Beterbiev's team agreed to the rematch when they didn't have to, Bivol's team is morally obligated to reciprocate. Kornilov views this as the priority for both fans and Riyadh season, aiming to definitively settle who the winner is through a 3-fight series.
Obviously, everybody will now look towards what's next for Dmitry, and everyone will now look towards what's next for Dmitry, and the two options which seem to be out there, seem to be spoken about the most. Obviously, the David Benavidez fight, which has been ordered by the WBC, and the Artur Beterbiev trilogy. Where do things stand? What can you say at this moment in time as to what's going on in the background?
We're you know, not to give myself or any of us too much credit, but we're always about integrity. So to us, like it's kind of unquestionable, and I think to many fans and to people involved, that no matter what the decisions were, no matter what the judges saw, you know, the Beterbiev side got the decision they got in the first fight. The second fight they agreed to do, they didn't have to do it. So from all you know, ethical, moral standpoint, the third fight has to happen, and it seems like that's what everybody's talking about, and it seems like that's what you know, Riyadh and His Excellency want. So that's what we're all looking towards, you know. And it's you know, it's kind of similar to like Golovkin Canelo. You know, these are the type of fights that they're close, and you know, we're not gonna do what other fighters do and say, oh, you know, wait a little bit and then we're gonna have another fight, and then we'll come back to this, because that's not really about integrity in my opinion. I think this trilogy has to figure out who the winner is within 3 fights being one after another.
He further stated that Benavidez was willing to wait for his chance to fight Bivol. Vadim proclaimed the Beterbiev trilogy remains the priority out of respect for the rivalry. Furthermore, Bivol requires significant recovery time after fighting 4 times in 13 months, making a 90-day turnaround impossible.
Would you say, Vadim, that a trilogy then is maybe at the forefront of your negotiations and your talks, and the Benavidez fight, although it's been ordered, is kind of the second option, if you will?
It seems so, yeah. It seems so, because obviously it seems like that's like an obligation, but at the same time, usually when there's a situation similar to this, it seems like if it was Canelo, for example, or another fighter, it seems like there's always respect for that type of situation, and it seems, from what I read, even from the Benavidez side, before the fight happened, I read, if I'm not mistaken, that Benavidez was okay with waiting. Like, he kind of understood that if Bivol was gonna win, then most likely there has to be a third fight, and it's just something that everybody respects, And now, like, we're getting a lot of commotion with let's make this Benavidez fight now. To be honest with you, it's like Bivol's not even fighting now. It's like it's not even about Beterbiev. Like, Bivol is not gonna fight within 90 days either way, because he just had 4 fights in a row within a 13 months period. So even without all this that I just said, Bivol is not gonna fight within 90 days after the end of February. After the second fight, it just doesn't, it won't work out either way. So if that's the way it has to happen. With some fighters at this level, besides trilogies, they usually fight twice a year. You know what I mean? Like, they usually fight once, and then they probably wait 5-6 months before they're ready again. Similar to Bivol, because he just fought 4 times in a year. Like, he expects at least a half a year to recover and to take care of things that he couldn't take care of in the last year. And that's the bottom line.
While David Benavidez is alright with waiting for the Bivol fight, he has recently been getting increasingly frustrated with Bivol not showing more enthusiasm to fight the best fighters in the division despite being champion. In an interview with Ring Magazine, the Mexican Monster expressed frustration regarding the Bivol fight. He corrected the narrative that he is avoiding the fight, stating that he actively tried to secure a bout with Bivol for his most recent appearance, but Bivol didn't want to take it. Benavidez emphasized his desire for the biggest opportunity and claimed that world-class opponents are the ones preventing these significant matchups from happening, not him.
Confident going up to cruiserweight and facing Zurdo Ramirez?
I'm confident with him too. I used to work with him a lot, and I'm confident with, I know exactly what I did with him, and but I'm not going to take it easy. I'm not going to overlook him. He's a great fighter. He's a great champion, but I want to achieve greatness, and the only way I do that is pushing myself to the limit.
Why do you prefer that fight over like a Bivol then?
There's no, you guys. I'm going to correct you guys where you guys keep saying that I don't get these fights, I don't get that fight. I don't get none of these fights because these guys don't want to fight me. If I would have had those fights available, I would have took that fight. The fight with Bivol, I was trying to fight Bivol for this fight. He didn't want to take the fight. I was, with all these guys. That's why, I don't like people disrespecting me, saying that, oh, I'm talking all this shit, but I'm not taking the fights with these guys. These guys
wasn't disrespecting.
No. It's I'm talking about other people. You know what I mean? Stuff that I see on the internet. These people, they don't want to take the fight with me. If they wanted to take the fight with me, that's the fight would have been having. You know what I mean? So, I'm taking every big opportunity I could take. You know what I mean? It's been evident that I've been wanting to get the biggest fights, and they haven't been happening. Not on my end, on the other end of the other fighters. So whatever a big opportunity I see that we can make, we're going to make that happen.
Benavidez has obviously moved up to cruiserweight to fight Zurdo Ramirez next, but he's not out of the light heavyweight division just yet. In an interview with Mike Coppinger, the Mexican Monster explained that he is carving his own path because top fighters like Beterbiev, Bivol, and Canelo have not agreed to face him. While he is moving up to pursue titles in a third weight class, he emphasized that he plans to return to light heavyweight after the Ramirez fight. Benavidez intends to be strategic about his physical transformation, stating he wants to avoid gaining excessive muscle mass that would prevent him from moving back down. His goal is to capture cruiserweight gold and then use that momentum momentum to secure the major matchups he desires at 175 pounds. He remains open to all challenges, including potential bouts with other top cruiserweights, but prefers to take his career one fight at a time.
Is that a done deal?
It's a done deal. May 2nd, Cinco de Mayo, it's a done deal. And like I said, I ain't waiting for nobody. I'm making my own lane. If Beterbiev, Bivol, Canelo don't want to fight me, I'm going up. I'm going to cruiserweight. There was an opportunity to fight for the 2 belts, so I said, let's get it.
Realistically, you know, we've seen fighters go up before and then come back down. Can you come back down to light heavyweight for fights with Canelo, Beterbiev, or Bivol, or once you're up there, you have to wait and see?
Nah, you know what I mean? We'll take it one fight at a time, but like I said, I take every fight like it's an opportunity. There's an opportunity to go up to 175. Maybe after I get the titles at cruiserweight, there's an opportunity to come down. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm not going to gain too much muscle going up, and I don't want to get big. I don't want to stay at cruiserweight immediately. You know, I want to come back down. So we're going to put together a good game plan. We got about 6 months to get ready for that fight, and we're going to see how much muscle mass we have to put on and what type of strength and conditioning we have to do. But I definitely do want to come down and, you know, get a fight with Bivol, Beterbiev, and Canelo, hopefully in the future.
Yeah, look, certainly you'll be favored to beat Zurdo Ramirez and win a title in a 3rd weight class. But the best guy at cruiserweight, Jai Apataya. Can we see you fight Jai Apataya? One more fight at cruiserweight.
I don't know. We'll take it one fight at a time, brother. Like I said, I don't know. Everything's possible. I ain't ducking no smoking. I've showed it time and time again that I want the best fights, and I'm gonna make the best fights.
While the Mexican Monster is confident about conquering one weight class after another, experts are sounding the warning. Boxing legend Tim Bradley warned David Benavidez that moving up and back down in weight is a terrible idea. He's fighting some of the best boxers in the world, and putting his body through so much stress won't win him fights. Bradley believes that David Benavidez won't move back down after moving to cruiserweight. He also believes that fighting Bivol and Beterbiev at light heavyweight isn't going to be easy. Bivol has shown exceptional talent by beating Beterbiev, and David doesn't have much experience in this weight class to take on the best boxers in this division.
And he said yes, but then he also didn't rule out going up and fighting Zurdo and getting a couple straps at 190. So now, of course, they announced it right after the fight. He's fighting Zurdo. So I think his plan is still to go back down and fight those guys at 175.
Once he go up to 190, he ain't coming back down, player. Sorry. You know, he ain't coming back down. And I'll tell you this, that Zurdo fight is not an easy fight. It's not an easy fight. Zurdo can box, man. Zurdo come with his own volume. Remember, Zurdo came from 68 pounds as well. So he got some hand speed. He got some boxing ability. You know, he's a southpaw, just as big as he is. And he's been established at the weight class for some time. So, you know, and he can take a punch too. So that's not I don't think that's an easy fight for Benavidez whatsoever. But shit, if he can go up to another weight class and win a world championship, then hey, then so be it, man. You know, I think if anybody can do it, he can do it. But still, I want to see that guy. I want to see him against Bivol, Beterbiev, one of those guys. I want to see him fight them dudes, man. You know, the best guys at 175 pounds.
I mean, think about it. Bivol beat Canelo, dominated Canelo.
Yeah.
He beat Zurdo, if I recall, right? That was, I think he dominated Zurdo too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't know if we talk about him enough, maybe because he's not a U.S. fighter, but that guy's tough to beat.
Oh, yeah. Footwork is cold. Jab is cold, you know. Very, very, you know, simplicity, man. You know, it's a beautiful thing. Fundamentals, beautiful thing. Distance control is a beautiful thing. You know, he uses that high guard very well. His in and out movement, you know, his combinations, they feast flows. Yeah, he's very difficult and got a high boxing IQ. So he's seen it all. And, you know, he's been, man, look, anybody that can deal with the pressure and the punching power of a Beterbiev, bro, I mean, you damn good, you know, but you got to be a master at your craft to be able to deal with that type of punching.
Boxing trainer Abel Sanchez expressed similar sentiments. Sanchez believes that Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol are head and shoulders above David Benavidez. He explains that Bivol is technically superior, stronger, and more fundamentally sound, while Beterbiev possesses overwhelming strength and power that would make him difficult for anyone in the division to beat. Sanchez notes that Benavidez was unable to hurt David Morrell, which suggests he would struggle to damage the elite champions. He concludes that while Benavidez Benavidez is a top-tier fighter, he is not yet seasoned enough to compete with the two light heavyweight kings.
Based on how he performed, Abel, how do you see him tussling up with these guys, with the better Biev and with the Bivol?
As I mentioned to you in our text, I honestly think that those two guys are head and shoulders above these two guys. Bivol and Beterbiev are natural 75-pounders. I want to say Bivol is a much better technically sound fighter than Benavidez. Hits a little bit harder, I think, than Benavidez, and a little stronger than Benavidez. And Morale's got a little way to go. Now the monster, the other guy, the real monster, Beterbiev. To me, if he's able to stay busy, now he's getting at a little later age now, but he's if able to stay busy with punch output against any of these guys, he beats them easy because of his strength and power. But I think that what's going to be is the detriment to him is that he may not be as busy as he used to be just because he's getting older and maybe he's conserving a little bit more. In the Bivol fight, I thought he conserved a little too much. The first fight, maybe in this one he won't. We'll see a better Bivol and a better Beterbiev in this fight. But I don't think that either guy, Morale or David Benavidez, is ready for those two.
Dmitry Bivol is gearing up for the Michael Eifert fight. However, everyone is eager to see him fight David Benavidez next. But we'd love to hear from you. Who wins the clash on May 30th, Bivol or Eifert? Also, would you be interested in a David Benavidez versus Bivol fight next? Or would you prefer the trilogy with Artur Beterbiev? Let me know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned and we will catch you in the next video.